XGIMI's Halo has been upgraded. It's called now the Halo Plus. What's changed about it? Well, it's now brighter. It outputs a maximum of 900 ANSI lumens instead of the previous 800. It runs Android TV 10. It's got auto keystone correction and autofocus, and you can also set it up so every time you boot it up, it can automatically do that, which is very handy if you tend to move this portable projector around. So very compact, small size. Yet the runtime of it with the 59 watt-hour battery is about 2.5 hours. So it is running on LED technology here, and the lifetime of them should be around 30,000 hours. The throw ratio is 1.2, and it does have Harman Kardon built-in speakers, which are really good considering the tiny size of this 1080p projector. In the box of the Halo Plus, you'll find our user guide in various different languages, frequently asked questions, warranty, and the warranty registration card. The power supply, this is 90 watts. It's a nice small size. Our power supply cable, and then the remote here, which is a typical Android TV remote. It takes 2 AAA batteries, but we don't have those included, so you will need to supply them. Now, it's almost identical to the Halo, but the Halo Plus here has 1 or 2 tiny little changes to it. The big one, the brightness now, 900 ANSI lumens instead of 800. So sound by Harman Kardon, built-in speakers, they sound really good considering the size of this. The back of it, you'll see where the hot air is pushed out. So there is a little fan in here like all projectors, and it does keep it cool, stops it from overheating. Now, the battery that's built into it is 59 watt hours. And it's good for 2.5 up to sometimes 3 hours. It really depends on the content that you're watching. Even though their claim is just 2 hours, if you use some of the settings on there that aren't so bright, the brightness levels, you can extend it a little bit. So power on button, we've got the USB 2 right here, HDMI. Now it will accept 4K, but then it downscales it to 1080p. It's just a 1080p projector. Headphone jack and then LDC in. On the other side, it's just the same thing there with the speaker. Okay, it's just saying Harman Kardon. And then the front here. So the key difference, and the only way to really tell this one apart from the Halo Plus, is there's this little tiny camera down here, a sensor there, that's the auto keystone correction. Now it does have autofocus. Along the bottom of it, just the solid rubber, so it'll sit on a table nicely, and there is a little tiny kickstand so you can prop it up. It's nice that they've got that there, and you can mount it on top of a tripod. Then lastly, the top of it, we've got a status LED, we have volume controls here, and then pause and stop for playback on the unit itself, which is handy. The Halo Plus is running Android TV 10, and the menu is very fast. It is fluid. Now, it does come with Netflix. You can install Netflix, and unlike the first Halo, it just works straight away without any problems. Now, I can't play anything, but I can just show you that here it is, the menu. It did come up with a warning saying that it wasn't compatible with this device, and not fully compatible, but I've not had any problems. You can just download the latest APK file, install that, or just update it, and it's working fine, okay? So I've had no problems to watch content on it. I'll just quickly show you a little bit of the trailer of this. Disenchantment will automatically start there in the background, and it works fine. And it's a 1080p, so it doesn't look quite as sharp as 4K, but for a projector here, when you're sitting back, it still looks really quite good. Now, the settings we do get, I'll just go back into home here, back into that menu. The settings we have, so you can see that's our battery level up here. You've got all your typical settings. So you got your network connections, whatnot along here, projector settings I'll go into. So you've got your brightness, and it's on standard. So you can put it onto performance, and I've really noticed no kind of difference between standard and performance. In fact, I prefer just keeping it on standard. The colors actually look a lot better too for me there with it. So you've got your focus settings, auto keystone correction, that's done already. You can get it to autofocus on startup. So this is very handy to have this. You don't have to keep doing it just in case it's moved slightly or you put it down in a new position. It's going to do all of that automatically, which is great. Projector placement, so if you're going to have it upside down or facing the ceiling, you can change all of that. Auto vertical flip too. Another very handy setting. So there's lots of options in there that you can go through and tweak all sorts of bits and pieces. And you can download various different apps. So I just wanted to point out that it does have a Widevine level 1 cert. I have checked this out, so just gone through this all right down to see that yes, that when you go to the Widevine modular DRM for Google, this is what we need, level 1. Okay, so Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, Disney Plus, all that will be in full HD. And the UI, as I just mentioned before, like it's very quick. No problems. Everything loads in fine. No problems with the reception of the wireless. That is all very quick. And it's a nice, easy layout. If you've used Android TV before, it's very basic, very straightforward, and it just works well. And now look at YouTube. This is a 4K clip, so it is scaled down to, of course, 1080p. And it's looking really good here for 1080p, nice and sharp. Now, I still have the same minor complaint like the original Halo, that the blacks, I am noticing there is just this little bit of grain to it, a little bit of noise. Doesn't seem maybe quite as bad as the original Halo from what I remember. Now get out of this and I'll just show you that the YouTube menu here with the app is very quick. So everything loads in fine, and I don't even have the fastest internet at all. And it looks good. The performance, excellent. Absolutely no lag with the UI. Prime Video on the Halo Plus here. Again, the UI very fast. Everything's loading in quick. It looks good. I'm going to jump into a quick episode, any episode here of The Expanse. This is a brilliant sci-fi TV series. So these dark scenes, so straight away I can see that's gone from standard definition, clipped over to HD now. So it's definitely full HD support here. And really, for 1080p, that looks very good and really watchable at the approximate 100 inches that I'm projecting this. And what happens if you turn on some lights? Well, this is going to happen, of course. You can't really see it at all that well. Now, I've got a reasonably powerful light on that's about 100 watts. So that's affecting it, especially with a dark scene like this. Now, if I get out of this into the menu, which is a little brighter here, and just go to home, you can see it. You can make out what's there fine, but it's really not that pleasant to be watching it in with any ambient light. You want to be in a dark room, really, to view a projector like this. And it does have a file browser, which I'm currently using here, so you can use this to go through just a few photos and whatnot and play your media files just off external storage. So I do have a very demanding jellyfish file here that I do not expect it to be able to play, because this is 140 megabits per second, 4K HEVC 10-bit. It's just probably not going to work at all. I might need something like HEVC, but I'll just give it a try. I don't think that it'll just lag out. Okay, so I can't open it with their default video player or VLC, but what I'll do is just try it now with the video player and just do just once. And I expect this to be a mess, but hey, look at that. That is a big surprise to me, which is great to see. So it's playing that, but there we go. It did lag a few times. So you can play 4K files through this, and even a really demanding file like this one, but expect for a few little bits of just lag and stutter there. Now, something else that is not as demanding here, which is a 60 megabits per second, and this one's an HD file. Use that with the video player again. And you can see that that one, at least, that is flawless. That seems to be 30 frames per second. There is no noticeable lag and stutter with that at all. So for your media files, everything that I've thrown at it so far actually seems to work. And I just didn't think it was going to play that HEVC one, and so I'm surprised to see that it does. So I have it on the performance option here with this game. You can set it to either graphics to prioritize that or performance, but I prefer performance here to keep it nice and smooth. So it is definitely, yes, showing that it's running at 1080p and 60 frames per second. This is very smooth. So when I look around even really fast, I'm not noticing any tearing at all. Now, I've been playing this game and some other PS5 games on this, and I've noticed no problems whatsoever with the input, the latency, and it's perfectly fine for gaming. So if you intend to game on a 1080p projector, and that's one of the plans that you're going to use it for as well, I think this one definitely does check out for that, for gaming performance. It is really immersive to game at like the 100 inches now screen size versus the 48 inches that I'm typically used to. Onto a sample clip now, just to test out our audio quality. Now, these speakers, they do sound really good. So they're Harman Kardon tuned ones, And for the size of this projector, they do put out an excellent sound. Now, it's not going to replace a 2.1 setup or your surround setup that you're going to be running at home, but if you're using this as a portable projector or music player, it's definitely sufficient enough, I find. Now, you don't get the great stereo separation from it, but here is a sample of some music here at 100% volume, just to give you an idea of what it sounds like, which is actually really good. Plenty of bass, good mids, and some treble. And our fan noise, it's always on, it's constant. I haven't heard it increase in RPM, so it hasn't got any louder. This is what it constantly sounds like. Here's a sample. So this is a fantastic little 1080p projector. Really do like it. So they've just, XGIMI, given it a bit of a tweak, improved it slightly, the brightness ever so slightly better. Well, 100 ANSI lumens is good, is a good gain there. And then the image quality for 1080p does look good. Now, you're not going to get that definition and sharpness of the 4K projectors I have been reviewing, but for 1080p, it looks very good. Now, you want to be watching it, of course, in a dimly lit room. Any ambient light will start to affect the quality of it, which is normal for these projectors, of course. And then it just tops out at 900 ANSI lumens. But for a portable projector, that's a very good brightness. So the auto keystone correction, auto focus, very handy to have. And you can set it up that when it's moved or when it's powered on, it will automatically do this, which is great for people that move the projector around, say from room to room. You put it down in a new place here, and as soon as you put it down, set it up, it can correct all that for you automatically with a little sensor there in the camera, and you're up and away. And it's so easy to set it all up with Android TV. You can log in via your Android phone, so you don't even have to put all the account details in the password. It just copies it straight over. And even, for example, Netflix was already saved the password, so I just went straight into it. And Netflix with this one works straight away out of the box, which is great to see. Now, those Harman Kardon tuned speakers, for the size of it, and you would look at it, you'd think, oh yeah, those, how can that sound great, you know? But it does. It doesn't sound bad at all for the size of it. Fan noise, it's not that bad from that sample I gave you. It's very minor. It's always there because these are actively cooled. All projectors are, otherwise it will overheat inside. Now, the lifetime of the LED in there, okay, they claim that it's around 30,000 hours, which is pretty standard. So the Halo Plus, a nice little tiny improvement. It's definitely welcomed, and it is really, I think, one of the best 1080p portable projectors that you can get.